Call the session to order. Looks like we've got everybody here. I need a motion to adjourn to closed session.
So moved.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys, tag you guys are it for first and second today.
Read the rest of the night.
Yep. Thanks. Okay, Chris,
Aye.
Jennifer,
Aye.
Steve,
I'm an aye.
Michael, Michael, I see you're here.
Aye.
Oh, thank you. And I'm an aye as well. The motion carries. We will adjourn to closed session. See you guys there. clock shows 7 o'clock. Thank you all for joining us. I need a motion to reconvene to open session.
I move.
Oh, second. Sorry, Jen. I
Oh,
couldn't
you
find
guys-
my button.
You guys switched it up. Okay. Chris,
Aye.
Jennifer,
Aye.
somebody's outside with wind chimes. Can you please turn your microphone off, please?
Okay, sorry.
Thank you. Steve,
I'm an
Michael,
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Motion carries 500. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I need a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Great. And we're going to be adopting the agenda with an addendum, or sorry, an amendment. I was thinking of putting it under section 3. We'll just do E after recognition. STA and CSEA, time for presentations.
Great.
So with that addendum, Chris,
Aye.
Jennifer,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Michael,
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Motion carries 500. Actions taken in closed session. We gave direction to staff regarding contract negotiations. Recognition. This is the fun part.
Yeah,
Eric, you want to take this?
this is the first virtual recognition ever. And tonight we're celebrating two of the all-time great Spreckels teachers. Both have about 30 years or so with the district. And more than that, they have like the best timing of all time. I mean, they're going out at the right time, right?
Can you guys talk somewhere?
But yeah, so Lisa Mills and Allie, I've known them for 27 years and proud to call them friends. I had all 4 of their kids in class. And if kids are any reflection of parents, they're good parents as well. All 4 kids are awesome. And we actually have 2 little Mills twins going to 4th grade. So who knows? And Allie, I think, is going to be a grandma soon. Allie, we're going to have a Dean's come our way.
Well, we got to get Spencer a girlfriend first.
They're overrated. I'll talk to them on the side. But I know I speak for Teresa, who wanted to be here, but she's took a little vacation. We thank you so much, and we hope that your retirement is everything you want it to be, pre, post, and during COVID. You're much appreciated. You've been, both of you have served, I think, in many different, teaching capacities, but always, always the gold standard. So on behalf of the district, thank you. I know Allie's already starting a side gig, right?
Oh, yeah. Thank goodness for COVID-19, the only positive thing.
Tutoring, online tutoring.
Online tutoring.
Yeah. Lisa, you're muted, Lisa. Oh, nothing.
I'm doing nothing. I've been out on the boat, I've been getting a tan, but nothing. It's really good.
Well, the good news is this is going to be this is being live streamed, so there's a lot of people out there in virtual land. They're also celebrating you as well as they should. And this will be on the website for a while if any of your family would like to visit and watch. But again, thank you so much. We will be sending your plaques
I
to
got
you.
mine today.
Oh, you. Good job, guys.
What?
Good job, team.
Oh, you
Your
got.
plaques.
Oh, I haven't get my plaque yet.
You
Okay,
checked your mail.
I have to go get the mail.
But again, thank you so much for
I
your.
thought it was my shorts from a styling company, but it wasn't.
So again, for combined more than 60 years of service, thank you on behalf of all the Spreckels students and staff and administration. You made all of our lives much easier. So thank you.
You're welcome.
You are welcome.
Yes.
Thank you.
And on behalf of the board, thank you very much. I didn't know if either of you wanted to say something. Usually we make you stand up and give a little speech. We wanted to do that, but I'll give you the opportunity.
Well, I do have to say that Eric's first year as a Spreckels teacher, he taught 7th grade English, and he had my oldest son that year. So it was kind of cool to have him, be here all along. And then when my twins needed help in changing schools, it was like no big deal. And so in between times, it's been wonderful. I love teaching there. I love the teachers. I love the kids. I miss it, but I'm happy to be retired.
Agreed.
I'll be back for the hoedown and stuff, though. That stuff's fun.
Fantastic. Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And Lisa and Allie, what about our substitute teacher list?
Well, you have to wait a few months for that. We're not all allowed to do that. And the other problem is I'm way out of town now. I live down at Lake Nacimiento. So you'd have to give me a few days in a row job so I can come up and stay with the grandkids. And then I do it. So no problem. But don't call me at 6 a.m. That ain't going to happen. Anyway, but yeah, that'll happen eventually. Thank you, everybody.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
So we're going to put in, you guys are welcome to stay, but if you want to go, you're welcome to go. Now, if you want to leave, now's a good time. Yeah.
Okay.
STA?
Good evening, board members. I'm Jennifer Pena, STA president. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you tonight. Our teachers, along with parents, students, and administrators, are on pins and needles wondering what the fall holds in store for our community. As we begin the enormous task of outlining a detailed and comprehensive plan to reopen schools, a myriad of concerns and questions come up which require careful navigation in order to meet the diverse needs of the stakeholders involved. To make this more challenging, the consequences of the decisions we make impact our most precious assets, our students. Simultaneously, the opinions surrounding how we should go about this task are divided. As school leaders collaborate to discuss this plan and conversations around academic and social emotional needs of students and teachers, budget constraints, childcare concerns, and many other valid issues are brought up and considered, naturally, it is easy to lose sight of arguably the most important consideration, safety. There is much we don't know about the future of returning to school, if we are able to return at all, taking into account current local viral conditions. We do know that COVID-19 is a respiratory disease primarily passed through droplets in the air from an infected person. That prolonged exposure in an enclosed environment with recycled air can be a significant risk factor. We know that the virus continues to be spread well before victims show symptoms, and we know that the virus can survive the process of traveling through an HVAC unit. Still, there are known protections that can dramatically decrease the risk factor in these types of dangerous situations. Mask wearing by all parties, social distancing of at least 6 feet to be consistently maintained and enforced, and constant air circulation or filtering to dissipate the aerosolized droplets. As professional educators, we understand that if schools open in any physical capacity, we must take on some level of risk. To be clear, given the enclosed classroom environment and prolonged time spent with students, teachers will be taking on the primary risk. The AMPM model currently in discussion at our district will put teachers in direct exposure with up to 30 contacts each day in this potentially illness-inducing environment. That risk can either be severely increased or decreased, depending on certain critical decisions made at the district level. There are a number of other models being explored by local districts, and STA would be willing to explore other hybrid options. Yet, even with safety protocols in place, the likelihood that we will return to a distance learning format for at least a portion of the school year is extremely high. Plans must include a robust remote learning model, as smooth as possible transitions between learning models, and ongoing transparent communication. As you consider these crucial decisions over the next few weeks, please use the filter of safety as evidenced by scientific data as your guide in any decision you make. There is much to consider, and no matter what is chosen, some people will be unhappy. However, if safety is the lens that guides the decision-making process, you can be assured you will make the best possible decision for the Spreckels Union School District. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. CSEA?
You're on mute. Heather, you're on mute.
We can't hear you. You're on
Okay,
mute.
my microphone wasn't clicking off. Sorry about that. My name is Heather Brodell. I am president for CSEA, and I was coming to say, I did talk to Eric yesterday, but I felt that I wanted to come and address you directly that we have had a couple of meetings with our CSA classified staff, and I know I speak for myself and a majority of us that we are grateful that we were supported and getting paid throughout this whole entire ordeal, as well as not laying anybody off. We're all very grateful that we're all getting to keep our jobs at this point. So I came to say thank you on all of our behalf, and we appreciate always your support and working with us. So thank you.
Thank you both for speaking. I think it's important to hear from our partners in this. So thank you very much for taking the time. Moving to next, COVID-19 operations written report. We need a motion to adopt the written report.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Chris?
No, are we going to have the report now? We've got the motion on the table.
Oh yeah, sorry. I keep doing that. It's because I'm thrown off. Yeah, let's have the report. Sorry.
This is the same report that you saw last meeting. This is what replaced the LCAP this year as far as the required document. Basically, it has us summarize what we did once COVID hit. What did we do as far as online learning? What did we do as far as feeding the kids? So basically, it's just a summary of those events.
Okay, but no changes from the last version.
No, exact same document.
Okay.
Anybody else have any questions, comments, or concerns? Okay, there being none. Sorry. Thank you, Chris. Now we'll vote. Chris?
Aye.
Jennifer?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Motion carries 5-0-0. I need a motion to adopt the budget adoption, including balances in excess of minimal reserve requirements.
So moved.
Second.
Veronica?
Yes, this is the exact same document as well that we presented at the public hearing on at the beginning of the month. There is one additional revenue that I added, which is the federal dollars coming from the CARES Act, and it's an increase in federal monies of about $54,000. So it's actually designated in the reserve. These funds can be used to support any COVID-19 actions, expenditures that we have already laid out or may lay out. So that's the only change from the document that you saw at the beginning of the month, June 2nd.
That's pretty good. The only thing that you added was a revenue. I like those.
And also it's based on the governor's May revision, which is the worst case scenario. We know that the state budget has. I'm getting some very weird feedback.
That might have been me.
Okay.
Give me a second. I'm turning it.
Actually, somebody.
Another phone. Whose phone is 831? Who just hopped in our meeting?
The ends 37.
Okay, we have a phone call.
Yeah, I was having trouble hearing people, so I was getting every third word, so I ended up calling in.
Okay. Anyway, this budget is just step one. The state budget has been adopted or passed by the legislature. There's still ongoing negotiations. So I fully expect we'll have some idea of the details of a revision in the next few weeks. But again, we know it's deficit spending, burning through our reserve, but it's just version 1. So more to come.
Okay. Other comments, questions, concerns? Okay. There being none, we'll call the vote. Chris?
Aye.
Jennifer?
Aye.
Steve?
I'm an aye.
Michael?
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Motion carries 5-0-0. I need a motion to approve a resolution establishing temporary borrowing between funds.
So moved.
Second.
This is
Veronica?
this is a resolution. Y'all have actually never seen one of these. We've never had to do it, and we may not ever have to use it. But in the event that the deferrals are so substantial that we would need to lean on the major other fund we have that even has some cash is the residual of the building fund. There's a little over $600,000 in that fund, and then there is about $150,000 in our developer fee fund. So again, in the event that deferrals get a little crazy around payroll time, this just gives us the opportunity to quickly move funds back and between cash back and forth between funds.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns? Okay, there being none. Chris?
Aye.
Jennifer?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Motion carries 5-0-0. Nothing curriculum, nothing personnel. School reopening plan.
Yeah, I think Ms. Pena very eloquently kind of summarized the situation. This is a daunting task. It's scary. It's divisive no matter what models we put out there. There will be people who love them and people who hate them. I've accepted that. But at this point, we've been meeting with all the different stakeholder groups. We met the unions separately. The administration has been meeting. Last Friday, we convened that reopening committee into one group. This Friday, we're going to expand it, bring in parents from both sides, parents from the different, the foundation and the PTO and the Bobcat Club. If a member of the board would like to join us, it's going to be virtual. But moving forward, we need to start adding detail to that skeletal plan we've been looking at. Tonight, based on the survey results, based on, like Jennifer said, primarily safety, how can we clean things in a given amount of time? How can we get half the kids to school? And how do we increase the direct instruction in-person time, as well as give students and teachers a chance to interact? We're going to go ahead and propose 2 models tonight. One is the AM/PM model. That was the highest surveyed with the parents and also with the Spreckels staff, as well as an fully online model for those parents who aren't comfortable or kids who are compromised. So those are the 2, and I can kind of briefly share what I think the group considers the pros of these models. The AM/PM model, I'm going to cheat my notes here. Basically, we're going to divide each class, which is normally like 24 to 28 kids, into 2 separate cohorts. Cohort A would come 8:15 to 11:15-ish. Times haven't been established. An hour or so to disinfect cohorts. And then the second cohort would come 12:30 to 3:15 or so. At the elementary school, language arts, math, and science would all be taught in the classroom directly. And social studies, PE, and visual arts would be the option. That's why it's the hybrid. Some at school, some online. In addition, at Buena Vista, math, social studies, and science will be taught in person. Spanish, PE, health, and perhaps literature be online. It'd be a 4-day model with Wednesday being no students coming to school because our teachers are asked to do more than ever. And so we really need a full day devoted to them, planning, collaborating, and other things we could do on those Wednesdays as well, as far as supporting them and the kids. Lunch service, one of the big issues with reopening is to avoid those dense populated times like lunch or PE or recess. This model allows us to do like the grab and go lunch service, so kids will not have to be crammed in a, the recommendation is to bring lunches to the classroom, which has a lot of issues by itself. So we would avoid that whole lunch mess. Our food service would continue, but it'd be very similar to what we did this summer. We'd have bags after the first cohort. The kids that get lunch would be in the first cohort, grab their bag and go home and eat lunch there. Transportation, Veronica and I met with Heather yesterday at length. Again, transportation is going to be another bear to kind of take on here. The recommendation is basically one kid per seat, every other seat. And that's really limiting what we could do. We're going to be surveying parents and having them commit early on about if they want transportation. Because Heather's going to have to plan the different scenarios, pick up from individual houses versus, a congregation of kids. But we feel we could pull it off. This also allows us the second part of the day. Some kids who really just did not do well with online learning or are in a subgroup that needs extra attention. For example, some of our English learners at the earlier stages or special ed students that have more than 50% of what's called specialized academic instruction in their IEP. We would have the ability to keep them the entire day. They would be with their normal in the morning or afternoon, and then they would be with the specialized teacher in either the opposite side. We are partnering with the YMCA, and they've been wonderful. The director of the YMCA has actually agreed to serve on our committee, and they've shared that they could provide as much staffing as we could provide. So one of the biggest, obstacles for parents with this model, any hybrid model, is going to be tough for childcare. So we're trying to bring up a partner, the YMCA, on site. It will be fee-based, but it will be an option for parents that need that flexibility. The Y has committed to basically any times we need, from 7 to 6, and parents can choose whatever time period they need, quarter day, half day, full day. The online model only, we're trying very hard to build it in to the hybrid in the sense that the hybrid could quickly go full online if needed. And that's one of the things that all the state guidelines are saying, that we need flexibility of our plan because, if the COVID spikes, we might be home full time again and we don't want to lose any instructional time. So Kate's actually worked out a model at the middle school that, Kate, you got a couple minutes to kind of, hey, and little Lindy. You want to kind of explain how your hybrid model there can quickly go full time at any point?
Yeah, so right now we had a little bit of a task ahead of us with the middle school and the fact that we have single subject teachers who normally would see 120 contacts a day. So we needed to figure out how we could reduce them down to 30 if possible, or even less. So we came up with an idea that there would be cohorts of 15 students. Every teacher in the grade level, so we have 4 different 6th grade teachers, would teach their content. While they're teaching their content, the other class would be in a Google Meet learning the subject matter at the same time. So everybody's essentially getting English at the exact same time. The teachers are rotating in the classroom to facilitate the instruction so that the students are actually learning the assignment and getting help when they need it. So we would do English, then math, then science, then history, and they'd get all 4 subject matters at that time. And Eric, I kind of explained it, but what was the main part that you wanted me to get to there?
The fact that the full online, the parents and family, you choose the full online model, could get it right away.
Perfect. And so because the class would be essentially streamed and it would be happening live, we would have students log on to the Google Meet at that time and they would have attendance taken. So there'd be an accountability piece that the students would have to be present while that class is actually in session. So that would happen while we're in school, but let's say we needed to go online only. We already have this format set up where teachers are teaching that live instruction at that time, so it could easily go back and forth. So we have the physical model, but we also have the ability to take attendance and have that expectation that students need to be present virtually as well. That's kind of a nutshell. It's a bit complicated, but it does work out. And we're starting to run these ideas by the staff, and we're even doing a staff meeting tomorrow to kind of try to figure out what the quirks are of this and how it could run smoothly.
And I just want to tell Kate, thank you for your hard work and creativity. I'm pretty former BV principal couldn't have pulled that off. I'm just saying. And at the AMPM model at the elementary school, just it's an easier model to put in place. So it was really trying to, and we wanted to make sure the middle school and the elementary school had the same model, because we want to make, honor parents. Like, we will put, if you have 2 or 3 kids in the district, they would be on the same schedule regardless, regardless of site. Now the online only, I think one of the big knocks, and rightfully so, we only had, literally a weekend to get it going. And it lacked a lot of accountability. Parents were frustrated. The new model we're going to offer, I think Jennifer said it, a much more rigorous, accountable model. We are actually forming a subcommittee of the reopening committee made up of principals, the principals and quite a few teachers who volunteered to take a look at best practices for online learning. We've learned a ton in 3 months. There's been schools using this forever. So the idea would be the online model would have accountability, attendance taken, hopefully all the tough steps we learned in the spring, we kind of figure out before we go in the fall. So
sorry to jump in. The cool thing is we could, as soon as they take attendance, if it shows that that student is not present, we could have our office secretary call home saying, "Hi, I'm just letting you know that your child is not attending class right now." So we do have that ability too, which plays a lot of the accountability piece.
And getting back to Jennifer, yes, safety is going to definitely be the main lens. And what we'd like from you is the direction or blessing to say, okay, these are the models, go ahead and add the detail, because I spent literally 45 minutes today with the other district superintendents, with the health director, Dr. Moreno, talking specifically about masks for 45 minutes. So each of these safety steps are going to be fully discussed, vetted. There's 2 or 3 sets of reopening guidelines that are on our website, and guidelines and county, orders are not always jiving. So we're going to try to make the most sense of it, and again, try to be in alignment with the other county districts. Any questions about that? Or again, we're looking for move forward, add some detail, come back with the next round of preparation in July.
Have any questions, comments, or concerns?
I have one question for after school care. So the kids that are going to after school care, so the kids will be in the classroom and then there'll be a mix of kids in after school care, right?
Yeah, the cohort would change probably. That's a good point, Jen, yes.
Okay.
I think working with the Y, we'd try to, and it'd be impossible to have the same cohorts. So the good thing about the Y is they've been doing it the last few months, so hopefully they'd have some recommendations on that.
And how many classrooms will the Y have? Just the same as the one that they have now?
No, we're actually finding quite a bit more. Like Teresa's looking at using the old art room, perhaps moving the library to be more of a mobile service and using the library. So we're trying to add to our open buildings for that.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to socially distance the kids during the childcare portion too. So.
Yeah, and the cohorts, I mean, regardless of where they get childcare, they're going to be the same obstacle, right? If they didn't do it on site, they're going to bring them more separate. They're still going to mix cohorts.
Right.
So, Eric, since this is an information item, you're not really looking for any kind of action on our part. You're just telling us what you're exploring and you're inviting questions, right?
Exactly, and letting you know the next step would be this Friday when we meet with the larger group. Again, we've added probably 5 or 6 parents and a few more of the lower school teachers. All grades are represented to move forward, trying to build detail to both these models. You know, what are the safety checks going to look like in the morning?
Chris,
how much time does it take to clean and disinfect rooms between the AM and PM cohort? Because that will kind of determine our bell schedule, right? And then things like that. So yes, Chris.
Okay.
Just to hear
Chris, do you have any questions?
I have 3. One is, Eric, you can add me to that list for that committee. I'd love to join you.
Awesome. You'll get an invite for this Friday at 9.
Okay.
And I think Jennifer is interested as well. I saw her raising her hand. I can't see everybody else on video. Email Eric if you're interested in participating.
Right. Thank you.
2 is the choice in the elementary school between an AM, PM, or an online, or does the AM, PM also require teachers to do an online class as well?
So yeah, that's a good question, because what Kate was able to do by videotaping the main credentialed teacher, I'm not sure if Chris has had that conversation yet. Right now, Chris, the idea is that class teacher, the AM, PM, that teacher would have 2 cohorts, teach the exact same thing in the AM and the PM, and then use that Wednesday to offer to build the like the social studies, online social studies platform. So the same teacher. That's so the AM, PM hybrid model is one model, but we're also asking parents if they want to go 100% online. Then we'd recruit some teachers, and I hear there's quite a few with their hands up that wouldn't mind supervising that program, depending on the kid.
Yeah, it just sounds like a workload problem to me from the teacher perspective. If they're going to be having kids in front of them, grading any papers and doing preparation for the in-person classes, and then expected to put classes online at the same time, it just seems like a bit much.
Right, and that's why the Wednesday would definitely be given to teachers for whatever they need it for. Administration would be hands off for most cases, maybe 1 or 2 staff meetings a month, but other than that, it's teacher time.
Yeah, and then Kate, I think for the middle school equivalent of the AM, PM thing, I think I'm going to need diagrams, because I guess I'm just not getting it.
It would just be like what we're doing right now. The teacher would teach their their content area, and they would have a physical class in front of them, but then it would be live streamed to the 3 other classes that are currently happening in 8th grade or 7th grade or 6th grade. And
but
then
would the group in front of them rotate? So
No.
one day they would have,
so then
they would always have the same bunch of kids in front of them?
Yeah, and then during the second half of the day, they would have an additional set of 15. So, and this is accounting that all kids would be at school. Once we get those online numbers, we're probably going to look at like 12 kids in a classroom or less. I don't know what we'll get there, so it'll reduce the count even more.
So I had a question. Sorry. Do we have a decision date by which we want to make the decision? I think we can keep going down the rabbit hole on this one till 9 o'clock tonight, because there's so many moving parts, and I don't want to stifle the discussion on it, but I think having 2 board members on the reopening committee is a great first start, and bringing this back in July is to where we are. But do we have a date by which we're going to make a decision?
I would like to make it by the first July board meeting, because once a decision made, there's a lot of commitment we need from families, and just scheduling this is going to be a bear. And so later this week, we'd ask for the second survey for people to kind of pick the models, so we know how many online only variables we have, and also for transportation.
Right. And I guess my other question is, you said on the email, the informative email that had the MCOE site and the other websites, how much is this going to be just us doing it, and how much is this going to be us doing it in conjunction with, it's a leading question, in conjunction with the guidelines sort of set forth by MCOE?
My understanding is that right as of now, it seems like every district's plan to offer models, I believe. A hybrid model, not necessarily AM, PM, The larger schools really have to do like a day on, day off. Steve has, I think, knowledge, right?
Yeah, the governor just yesterday said local decision. So we're not going to get any direction from Sacramento. We'll get a 65-page document that we already have to tell us what we ought to do. But regarding the model that we pull off, we're on our own. We're on our own. Yeah.
One of the documents on the
hold on a second, Eric. I'm sorry. I wanted to give both Steve and Mike a chance because we haven't heard from them. I didn't know if they had any questions before you went to that.
I don't have any questions. I'm following the conversation. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead, Eric.
Just one of the online resources is actually the CDE guidelines, and there's a section there that have sample hybrid models. There's like 4 or 5. So if you want to take a look at, again, there it really says what works with your school based on surveys, and also what your physical campuses can offer. You know, the high schools have 3,000 kids. Their model is going to be, I wouldn't even want to begin.
Right.
That's a different hat. Stop it.
Yep. So I think you were looking, Eric, I think you were looking for some sort of direction in an informal way from the board. It sounds like you've got 2 board members at least that are very interested in participating and have the time and ability to be on the reopening committee. I think they're probably represented. I think it sounds like pursuing the hybrid model has got a lot of interest and support.
Right. And I guess what I didn't say that I need to better communicate to parents is that status quo, going back to 30 in a class, just is not allowed. It's not an option. As long as the local order says 6 feet away social distancing, that's not an option unless you have already class sizes of 12, which we don't. And I don't think many do.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Anybody else have any comments, questions? Okay. It's a lot of, it's going to be a big list. So thank you all in advance for taking this on. I need a motion to approve the first read of the COVID-19 mitigation plan.
Whoops. So moved.
Second.
So this is a document that CSBA has put out, and it's rolling up all of the different types of discussions that we've had and continue to have. We will refine it for the July 7th board meeting once we get our plan a little more refined. But we wanted to bring the first read because it will also help us sort of solidify the decision.
Okay. Do anybody have any comments or questions? Okay, hearing none. Chris?
Aye.
Jennifer?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. The motion carries 5-0-0. I need a motion to approve the first read of BPAR 3515.4, recovery for property loss or damage.
So moved.
Second.
And this is another proposed, actually a couple of months ago, we started bringing, CSBA sent out a list of all the board policies and regulations we should be looking at and making sure that they're updated. And so in that process, this one came up as one that we needed to review. And it's really talking about the distribution of Chromebooks and technology equipment that kids are taking home. So the final read will come in July as well.
Okay. Any comments, questions, concerns?
I just want to say I'm so happy we have those because I've heard of other friends in other districts in other states and they have no idea what they're going to do because they didn't have that. So thank you.
That's Measure B. Thank you, residents of Spreckels School District, and our team for putting all that together. Chris?
Aye.
Jennifer?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Motion carries 500. Does anybody want to pull anything out from the consent items? Hearing none, I need a motion to approve the consent items.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? No. Chris?
Aye.
Jennifer?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Motion carries 500. Future agenda items. I'm assuming that we're going to be adding a reopening plan to July 7th.
Yep.
Some of these issues about the athletics, that might go by the wayside. I don't know.
All right.
Yes, kind of depending on local orders. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want us to have a good amount of time to talk about the reopening plan, because I think that's going to be obviously our number one topic on everybody's mind. So my only direction with approval from other board members is to maybe push off things that can be pushed off so we can focus on that very, very important topic. So does that sound reasonable to everybody? I'm seeing some nods on the folks that I have on video. So yeah, I got thumbs up. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. So that's direction to staff. Thank you very much. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Chris?
Aye.
Jennifer?
Aye.
Steve?
I guess so.
You can stay, Steve, if you want. I'm going to go make dinner. Michael?
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Thank you all so very much. And thank you very much to our team. You guys are great. Thank you for taking this down. This is a really weird time to be in education.